You're still watching Good Morning Kenya. Welcome back to the program. My name is Mike Migwi. Let's talk about consulting engineers. When you talk about engineers, we're looking at innovative ideas that provide solutions sectors, including manufacturing, that is infrastructure, and everything. Innovation and Industry 4.0 to 5.0 transition. What is it? What does it entail? And I'm joined by Engineer Dick Ndio, who is the Chair, Functions and Events Committee at the Association of Consulting Engineers of Kenya. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
And also Engineer Paul Ochola, who is the Chair, Research and Publications Committee of Association of Consulting Engineers of Kenya. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, let's get into it. Now, you know, engineering, yes, plays a very vital role in matters to do with translating innovative ideas into practical solutions. Now, we are looking at this transition 4.0 to 5.0. If I may start with you, Engineer Ndio, what is this transition? When we talk about transition 4.0 to 5.0, what are we talking about?
Thank you very much, Mike. The whole idea of industrial revolution started around 1760. Okay, so this is always about trying to make everything easier for us as human beings. So the first industrial revolution was about just using machinery to do things. So you have textile and things like that, steam power. Then with that, we moved to a stage where now we wanted to make things better, more efficient. So people start thinking that, yes, we have machinery that is doing things, but can we do it better? So we start looking for machines that are more efficient. This actually almost took another 100 years. And then later on, we went to the stage, the Industrial Revolution 3, where now we started having computers. And I remember when we were at the university, the computer was such a sensitive thing. People would tell you, don't go to the computer room.
Don't touch it.
Yeah, don't touch it. It was such an amazing thing. I see nowadays, even my young children have their computers, and it is an amazing how things have changed.
Yes.
And then came the fourth industrial revolution, which was more about internet, trying to do things again more efficiently, but also using a lot of internet. The area where my colleague, Engineer Ochola, is an expert, and I know he may finish. I was joking yesterday that he may finish the whole conference that we are going to today.
Yes.
And then now the fifth revolution, which is underway, is about how do we make these efficient systems to marry with our abilities as human beings.
Yes.
So it is a question of enhancing and ensuring that the human ability, as well as the things that we have used, innovation in internet, in the efficiencies, and in the machineries that we started with, are working well, sustainably, for the benefit of the human being. So we are talking about even environment.
All right.
Thank you.
Now, Engineer Paul, how do you see this evolution now changing the way engineers plan, design, and advise various industries?
Yeah, thank you. Essentially what is happening is that we are basically going through a transformation shift. Engineering is undergoing transformation. We are moving away from the traditional method in which we used to do things from an engineering perspective, right from conceptualization to modeling, to design, and ultimately to the delivery of the ultimate solution. So with Industry 5.0, it's all about socioeconomic enhancement. And this is whereby we are coming to the era whereby we are going to encounter the human-machine interface. Industry 5.0, it's all about creating automation, enhancing this particular automation, and making it, giving it a human-centric perspective. And from an engineering perspective, there's an entire shift. It's affecting even the education sector. It's affecting the energy sector. It's affecting the agricultural sector. It's affecting the transport sector. It's affecting the financial sector. It's even affecting space engineering. And even matters to do with even how we live. So essentially, we as engineers, we must basically have to change our game. The traditional methods that probably we might have been used to yesteryears, this is now the time whereby it is required of us now to adopt the modern methods. And some of these include capacity building, relearning, unlearning, and continuous learning, which is essentially the bedrock of our continuous professional development. For one to be a professional engineer, continuous learning is something that takes place, and it's embedded in our professional journey. So as from the engineering practice, we now have to completely change our mindset, and there are things that we have to completely unlearn and relearn. We are no longer in the era whereby we could use the T-squares. We left the T-squares a long time ago. During our time, we were being taught using the T-square in as far as engineering drawing is concerned. But now the T-square is no longer in the classroom. We are using computer-aided design. We are using computer simulations. We are using modern tools which are digital in nature. And we are able to conceptualize even the final product even before we sit down to get to be able to say that this is the direction that we are going to take. So it's a whole game changer in as far as transforming our approach to the engineering practice.
So we could say, Engineer Ndiowo, there's some level of adaptation that has happened. But even as such, why does this conversation now regarding this transition matter?
This conversation is very important because you remember we are in what we call the global village. Things that are happening probably in America, things that are happening in China are affecting us almost immediately. When the first revolution started in the UK, it was really a UK thing. Then the next one was probably led by US and Germany. It took a long time for us to adapt to what was happening then. Now, things have changed because now we have the so-called global village. Everything is all interconnected, of course, by use of internet facilities. And therefore, as Kenyan engineers and as African engineers generally, we cannot afford to be left behind in what is happening everywhere else in the world.
Engineer Paul, so can we say the Industry 4.0 within the engineering sector is now the foundation for 5.0, this transition? Or does 5.0 come to replace 4.0, or is 4.0 becoming a layer for 5.0?
Thank you. 4.0 is a precursor to 5.0. And the 4.0 is all about automation and operational efficiency. But we realized that it was more about the business and the bottom line. So it's all about process improvement, automation, and efficiency. But we realized that there's the human aspect of it that appears to be to be lacking. So now we need to, the industry 5.0
Yes.
is going to ride on the foundation that has been built on 4.0, so that utilizing such systems like the Internet of Things, the smart systems that we have, the artificial intelligence that currently we are talking about,
Yes.
the big data that we are talking about, the robotics that we are seeing. So we are able to see automation has already improved our operational efficiency. But the question is, can we add some value engineering from a human perspective, so that now that which we have been doing in terms of transformation in the industry 4.0 can now basically be incorporate the human aspect, so that it speaks to the human, it speaks to the society, it speaks to sustainability, and it also speaks to the social aspect, of human life. As we are all aware, the lives of a society are more or less improved by engineering. And engineering is more about development of infrastructure. Socioeconomic development does not happen without infrastructure development. And you realize in Kenya, we are more of a consumer society.
Yes.
But over the last 10 to 15 years, we have witnessed a lot of infrastructure development, right from the road sector, to the energy sector, to the aviation industry, to the agricultural sector, to the water sector, to the telecommunication sector. We realize that there is one thing that is common, and even in the banking sector, there is one thing that is common in all this. That is infrastructure. And we can't talk about infrastructure without engineering. So engineering speaks to the socioeconomic development of a nation, and it also speaks to the improvement of the social lifestyles and the social well-being of the society. As we are also aware, the Kenya Kwanza government is very, very keen on the improvement of the lives of the people. Now, from an engineering perspective, we as engineers, we need to engage the policymakers. We need to we need to influence policies. And not just even influencing policy, we need also to influence the political class and let them know that we as engineers, we are available. Engineering is core. And if we look at the Eastern world and even the Western world, a lot of these economies have more or less reached where they are because they have more or less adopted engineering practice and engineering advisors, not just at the policy level, but even at the very highest levels of political advisory. So we are more or less looking at a scenario whereby a system, the government of the day, can even consider such aspects of having, say, for example, an engineering advisory council. And an engineering advisory council is very, very important because it will communicate to the infrastructure development that is basically required for a nation. So back to your question, engineering speaks to the very lives of the people and to the living standards of the society. So for the government, we as engineers, right from the student engineers who are basically practicing engineers, to the engineers who have already graduated, and right now we are building capacity. We are building capacity in the industry, both with our partners, the Institution of Engineers of Kenya, Association of Engineers of Kenya, and the Engineers Board of Kenya. We are building capacity so that this human capital that is engineering, has been homegrown, basically takes its rightful place in as far as taking the lead of socioeconomic development is concerned. That is from every perspective. Let's look at even the tournament that is taking place at Nyayo Stadium. Let's look at Kasarani. When we look at the infrastructure,
that is engineering.
It's engineering. Let's go to the water system. It's engineering.
Even this studio.
Let's look at this studio. It's engineering.
Engineering, yes.
The social networks that it gives telepresence. Somebody is available in 5 continents more or less at the same time. It's all engineering. But all this is what is all this doing? It's transforming human lives. And the moment we push and more or less accept that engineering is understood and accepted and accommodated at every level of decision making, up to the political class.
Right.
It's very, very relevant for this station.
Yes. Engineer Ndiewo, be that as it may, and pegging on what Engineer Paul has said, you know, it's not like it's cast on stone that this is going to be smooth. What would you say are the biggest challenges that this transition has faced so far?
Okay. I think generally the transition from 4.0 to 5.0 is not that it has faced any serious challenge, and it's not that it is moving smoothly. Yeah, but of course you can still see that there's that big divide between the rich nations and the very poor nations. And there's one very unfortunate thing, especially just building on what Engineer Chola has said. You cannot have development without engineering. Unfortunately, again, anytime there is any problem in terms of even when the economy is not doing well, it is the engineers who feel the brunt the most.
Yes.
So when we talk about having engineers at the very top of everything, advisory councils in the political systems, because like now, it is very easy for anybody. Bwana Mwigwi, if today you wanted to have a construction firm that is doing engineering, I'm not sure of your background, but it is possible you will have it.
Yes.
Okay, in this country, while you've not broken any law. I, being an engineer, I can't operate a pharmacy.
Yeah.
I cannot operate a law firm. So those are challenges that have always been there from the word go, not just because of transition from Industry 4.0 to Industry 5.0, but these are challenges we have had over time, and these are challenges that we need to deal with.
Yes.
As they normally say, if you are not at the table where the menu is being decided, you could be the menu.
Yeah.
And probably that has been the engineers' worst undoing over time, because you will realize that for some reason we tend to be very reserved, conservative people. You look at the engineers, even in our parliament, they are very few and probably not as outspoken as people who are from the other professions.
Yes.
Yet the laws that are being made there largely affect the practice of engineering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to build up on what he has mentioned.
Even as you build up on that, this also comes on the sidelines of a conference that is happening. For, if you may talk about that.
Yes. Yeah, so essentially, like now we have 47 counties in Kenya. You realize that part of the advocacy that we are currently doing is the position and the place of the engineer within the county government. We are making an advocacy to the governors, to the county governments, that they need to appreciate the role that the engineer plays in infrastructure development. And in all these particular space, in as far as ASEC is concerned, we are going to bring thought leaders from top government, that is the national government. We are also expecting delegates and leaders from the county governments. We are expecting also leaders from partners, the private sector. And we also have our own partners from the manufacturing industry. So we are going to be congregated in one place and bring together, share knowledge, and share what are called the trends that are taking place in as far as the transformation in the technological space is happening. So it's only by coming together, that's when, and then we share notes and compare notes at the conference. It's more like a benchmarking forum, so that the people who will come from the county government, the people who are going to be sponsored, the delegates will be sponsored by their corporate organizations. The delegates who are going to be sponsored by their private organizations. Those who are going to sponsor themselves individually, they will come and be able to acquire knowledge and be able to benchmark and see which direction is the engineering practice taking and what are the transformations that it is making in as far as the social development or socio-economic transformation within a certain space is concerned.
Yes.
To basically speak it to be a bit very, very straight on.
Yes.
You realize that in some places, if one has no information about what is taking place, the tendency to imagine that you are the only person who has the best ideas will always carry the day. So ASEC, the Association of Consulting Engineers of Kenya, together with its partners, is bringing about this forum so that we can all come together, bring in our signages, bring in our different innovations, transformations, thoughts, policy discussions. We bring them together, and then ultimately at the end of the day, we are going to have a goodie pack of that which we shall be able to go back with to our various places to improve the socioeconomic position and the socioeconomic lives of our people, not just in Kenya, in East Africa and beyond. And as you may be aware that Kenya recently joined the Washington Accord, has a provisional ascension to the Washington Accord. These are some of the things that we as engineers, we are moving away from that local space, and we also want to play at the international league. So we are also expecting thought leaders, both from within the country, the region, and even outside, for us to come and compare notes and see what is it that is happening out there and what is happening in Kenya that can also be exported outside the country. So with the Washington Accord, this is going to bring in what is called, it's a total game changer, and not just a game changer within the engineering practice, but it's also a game changer on even how our engineering education training is taking place. And to this extent, we must give credit to the Dean of Engineering, to the Council of Engineering Deans. The Council of Engineering Deans is playing a very vital role in as far as working together with the Engineers Board of Kenya, together with the Institution of Engineers of Kenya, with whom we are partners, in as far as reshaping the curriculum and even placing the relevance of the engineering education, not just relevant within the boundaries of Kenya, but even at the international league.
Engineer Ndieo, it's not the first time you're having this conference. You've had 3 previous ones. From your assessment, how can you say, or what has been the impact within the engineering sector coming out of these conferences?
Thank you very much, Migwi. First of all, engineers have been having conferences for the longest time that I can remember. But previously, because we were very few, we only had, I think, one major conference. And actually, it used to be held in this hotel. Yes. So all of it used to go there. Then as we became more and more, we had now issues of how can we be accommodated. So we moved it to probably the places where there was sufficient facility. And like my colleague, Engineer Chola, said, there's the Institute of Engineers of Kenya that is basically the mother of all of us. It's an association of all the engineers. And then there's the Engineers Board of Kenya, which is the regulator. And then now there's the Association of Consulting Engineers of Kenya, which is as the name suggests, the association of people who are in the business of consulting engineering in Kenya. Now, we have had all these conferences over the years. It's a space for sharing ideas.
Yeah.
It's a space for networking. I always tell people that there are people who are very difficult to access, but at the conference, you will meet this person without an appointment.
Yeah.
So, like in our conference, we are having people as high as the CS Energy as the chief guest.
Yeah.
We have the vice president of Africa Development Bank, in charge of power and energy, climate change, who is also going to be there, among very many other senior citizens and people from all walks of life. And you can get access to these people, number one, without any appointment for those 3 days between 18th of August and 20th of August this year. You do not need an appointment to see the Vice President of Africa Development Bank. So that already is a plus. Number two, even those of us who are in business, you meet people there, you realize, oh, we can do this together. And I am sure all the engineers who have ever gone to those conferences have at one time or another got a connection with somebody who you can do something with. And then there's the technical bit where we share ideas. Some of us, we are engineers in the water sector. I deal with machinery in the water sector, and I deal with both machineries that, you know, you have where water is driving machinery.
Okay.
And when machinery is driving the water. And you go there and you share ideas. It's the only thing I've done all my professional life. It helps somebody who is coming up.
Okay.
So we have seen very big changes over the years.
Okay.
But now, as I said in the beginning, we are now more. So we have Engineers Board of Kenya organizing their conference. And all of us, you know, we are also in EBK.
Yes.
Institute of Engineers of Kenya, they also organize another conference, Association of Consulting Engineers of Kenya. This is all in an effort to make sure that the 20,000 plus engineers in this country get an opportunity to learn something, because we can't fit in one conference in one day.
All right.
Get an opportunity to network, get an opportunity to see what the others are doing, and in particular, Association of Consulting Engineers of Kenya, we decided that we will take ours around the country.
Yes.
So the first one was 2022 in Kisumu. We didn't have very good attendance. It was the inaugural, that is expected. We had an improvement in 2023 in Eldoret. Last year we were in Nairobi, and this year we are in Sarova White Sands, Mombasa.
Yes.
And hoping that next year we will go to Machakos.
Okay.
We want to spread the gospel of engineering across the country,
Yes.
demystify engineering, make other young people get to feel what we do. I was telling you, Mike, before we came to the stage, that there are people who actually still do not know what engineers do.
Yeah.
They will tell you, when you tell them about engineers, they say, you tell him you are a mechanical engineer, he says, Are you not the one who makes vehicles?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for coming to the studio and talking about this transition and the role that engineering plays in all this. That has been Engineer Dick Ndio, who is the Chair Functions and Events Committee at the Association of Consulting Engineers, and also Engineer Paul Ochola, who is the Chair of the Research and Publication Committee from the Association of Consulting Engineers of Kenya. This is where we end this conversation. Thank you for tuning in. I leave you in the able hands of Rashid Mwamkondo. On the other side of studio, they are talking about devolution and youth participation. Stay with us.